Okay, well, we're at a select few then tonight, but I'll go through the usual procedures. Firstly, the results. Now, in Group 1, we had the remarkable statistic. We got 3 slams bid. Val bid 6 no trumps, and a couple of other people bid 6 spades. So it looks as if the lesson was sinking in. Very good result there for Helen and Barry. Well done to them. Nice respectable result for Brendan and Jenny there. And Group 2, I've already said well done to you, Caroline. With Keith, well done. And Francis and Graham, I don't know if you'll be watching this recording, but that's a super result. That's the best you've had for quite a while, I think. And good to see Jonathan Mike hitting form again. Good. So let's now come out, and we're going to go into our defense lesson tonight. Now, it might be a good idea if you have pen and paper, please, for this one tonight. So I'll just give you a minute to just check if you've got that. All set then? Good. So I'm going to go through third hand play in defense tonight. We've had some problems with defense. I would say on average it's the subject which has caused a lot of you the most difficulty. So I think I'm going to try and go a little bit more slowly than usual. This really tonight is mainly about third hand play. As I'm sure you know that if your partner leads to a trick, you become what's called third hand, playing the third card. Now, we have these rules which go back to whist days from the 18th century almost, I think, where things like third hand high. But like all rules, it's rather incomplete. It should really be third hand high if partner leads a low card. So pressure on you tonight as a small audience. What does partners 3 tell us?
It's got 4 cards. Four clubs.
Very likely 4 cards because we've got the 2. Yes. Does it tell you anything else about that hand?
Got an honor.
Yes, it's got some kind of high card point. Might be the king, might be the queen, might be both actually, because if the contract's 3 no trumps, with the king and the queen, you lead low. Okay. Now the question is then, the 3's led, the 4's played from dummy. Which card do we play? What do you think?
Ace.
I would play the ace.
A bit of a long pause there. You're wondering if it's a trap already, I think. Yeah. I think there's a tendency, isn't there, among less experienced players to think, oh, I'll stick the jack in and see if I get away with it. But in fact, that's always wrong, because if your partner's got the king and the queen, it doesn't make any difference. But if declarer's got the king or the queen, it makes an enormous difference. So we play the ace, and here's the reason. This is a typical situation. If you'd played the jacks there, that would have given declarer a cheap trick, wouldn't it? Okay. So what you can do is play the ace, and then with your remaining doubleton, the jack 2, you lead the higher of the two cards. Okay. Just stop me at any point if you can't see the reasoning. It starts off reasonably easy. It's a bit harder later. All right, this time our partner's leading a 3. Again, low for like, of course, isn't it? Which card would you play? Silence. 4 from, it says clubs there, sorry, it should say diamonds at the bottom. The 3 is led by partner, the 4 is played from dummy. Which would you play?
King.
Yes, it's the same. It's the same principle. Now, it feels disappointing, of course, when you play your king like that and it loses to the ace. But the king has not been sacrificed in vain, because at a later point, you can do the same kind of thing. You can lead your 10, the remaining doubleton, and that will trap the jack. Do you see that? So the king has lost, but it's not lost in vain, because you can play your 10, and we say that declarer's jack is trapped. Okay, same idea really, except you lose the first trick. Good. Now, what I've done with the hands tonight, because it's defense, I'm going to show you all 4 hands, okay, which of course we can't do normally, but I think it will help. Now, what we're going to do with these hands is apply the principles as we learn them. Would you like to just run through the auction? South, hope you can see the bottom of the screen okay. Can you see the 10, 7 and 3 of clubs?
Yeah.
Don't worry about muting tonight, as there's so few of us. Okay, so what's your bid as South?
1 no trump.
Yeah, good. I won't put them up yet. Do we think we can bid as West? Don't think we can bid after 1 no trump, can we?
No.
No, it's nowhere near strong enough to bid at the 2 level. So North, South just bid 1 no trump. What's North going to do?
2 clubs.
Absolute. Well, yes, 2 clubs for Stayman. Absolutely right, because we got a 4-card major. Stayman is for 4s, transfers are for 5 or more. So 2 clubs from North, and South will answer to that.
2 diamonds.
Yeah, it's nothing to do with the diamonds, of course. It's just saying I haven't got a 4-card major. So no joy on the majors for North. So what's North going to come back with now?
3 no trumps.
Yeah, so we've just got a 3 no trump via Stayman with a negative reply. Okay. Good. Now, it's South's contract, 3 no trumps, and so therefore West has got the lead. What would you lead from here?
4 of hearts.
Yes, it's a clear heart lead, isn't it? I mean, there's no bidding from our partner. We've seen that, well, we can see now, of course, that North has spades, and I would lead the 4 of hearts. Sometimes I just lead the 2 anyway. I think most of you lead 4th highest, do you, against no trumps?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, so we're going to lead the 4 and we'll play trick 1. What will happen? How should this trick go, do you think? If we lead the 4, what should happen for the rest of the trick?
The king should be played by East.
Exactly. It's just an example in this deal of what we've just been talking about. We should clearly play the king. And now what should East do? Who's won the trick?
Jack.
Yes, Jack. And we see the lovely situation where South Queen is trapped. And that's why we played the high card. So that's led to the ace. And this is the easiest one tonight, the easiest deal. And now West can just sweep up. A very depressing start for Declarer, isn't it? Nothing they could do about it. They didn't do anything wrong. We did one simple thing right by playing the king instead of the jack. Wouldn't it be nice if all defense was as easy as that? And there's one more trick somewhere, isn't there? The 2 of hearts, that's right. Yeah. Okay. But of course, usually it's not quite so straightforward as that. Do interrupt me, by the way. I'm ploughing on, but so far it's reasonably basic. Now, moving on to the next step. Again, we've got this low card lead, the 3. 4 from dummy again, and we've got a bit of a choice here, haven't we? What do you think?
Jack,
Why the jack was that, Caroline?
because if declarer plays a king, your partner will know you've got the queen, maybe?
And when you've got touching honours, the principle is you lead the highest of a sequence, don't you? But as third hand, you play the lowest of the sequence. And as Caroline has just said, that can help declarer locate missing cards. So when declarer, in fact, it's the ace, but it could have been the king, of course. On this occasion, it's the ace. So our partner knows that we've got the queen, just by that simple thing of playing the jack. Have you all come across this equal of touching honours, lower of touching honours?
Yes.
Okay. So if we were leading that heart suit, we'd lead the queen, wouldn't we?
Yeah.
But when we're playing third in hand, we play the bottom of the sequence. And that on this occasion makes it very clear to our partner that declarer must have the ace because he knows he's got the king. Good, on we go. 3 lead spades this time, 4 from dummy, and you would play the
Jack.
yes, and that's even more helpful because when well, declarer now can tell that we've got all of the missing cards, in fact. So it's a good idea. So you play the bottom of the sequence every time. Sometimes, often it gives information to partner, sometimes it doesn't, but it's a very good habit to get into. So there you play the jack, the bottom of the sequence. Okay. Right, back to our next deal now. Shall we try and have a go at the auction? South is the dealer. So what are we going to bid as South here?
1 club.
Yep, 1 club, I've got that. It is a balanced hand, but it's 15, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just slightly too strong for 1 no trump. We haven't got much overcalling tonight, but what about West? Do you think they'd come in there?
Yeah, 1 spade.
Very definitely. I absolutely agree with that. One of the things about 1 club, 1 spade is you're taking away all their red suit bidding, so it's worth it in that sense. The suit quality is 7. Do you know what I mean by that? Length of the suit plus 2 honours, 7. So that is a definite 1 spade. So what's our partner going to do after that? We bid 1 club. So what's North going to bid? South bid 1 club. There was an overcall of 1 spade. What would you bid as North after your partner opened 1 club?
2 clubs.
Well, I think, to be fair, that's a little bit timid. You know, we've got 11 points. Now, remember your limit raisers. A raise to 3 clubs would show 10 to 12 points. So your raise to 2 clubs would only show 6 to 9. So I go for 3 clubs there. Now, of course, we always must remember when we raise a minor, we must make sure we haven't got a major to mention, but we haven't. So I think so far this auction will go 1 club from South, 1 spade from West, and 3 clubs from North. He's not going to say anything. What would you bid as South now? You've just been raised to 3 clubs. Well, we don't like 5 clubs, do we, generally speaking, although there are obviously times when it's a good bid. I think that we probably have a go at 3 no trumps here. Anyway, that's the auction, whether it was wise or not. Some of the auction, because this is teaching about defense tonight, most of the hands are doomed to failure. So the bidding might be occasionally a little bit dodgy, But that's what South's in, 3 no trumps, okay? This lesson, of course, is about defence, so we have to think, what would we lead from the West hand here?
4 of spades.
Yes, I think it's a clear one again, isn't it? So let's play that through, 4 of spades. Okay, good. But the queen, on this occasion, the king wins, okay? So it's South's lead now. Leads back a diamond. Fortunately, our partners, South's partner's very good on diamonds and cashes their diamonds. Okay, where are we now? We're following this through. Now, the question is why has West switched to hearts? Can you see why they switched to hearts? Would you like me to play it for you again?
Yes, please.
Okay, I think you can start it again by clicking that. Okay. Right. Auction. 1 club. Okay. And the lead was the 4 of spades. Now, that's the crucial point in this deal. Perhaps I played it too quickly. What did the Queen of Spades tell West? Now, I know that West can't, of course, see the other hands, apart from dummy. What did that tell West?
But they haven't got the jack.
Yes, you see, we have this thing about playing the lowest of touching honours, and it's very useful if you do that, but there's a kind of, I think you call it a negative inference, wouldn't you? That by playing the queen, we know, West knows that East hasn't got the jack. Do you see that?
Yes.
And that negative inference is just as useful as the opposite by playing the jack or even the 10. Now, of course, South's now going to set about their diamonds, their best suit, so we'll have to be a bit patient. But what they did there, can you see what they did there? They had to take a finesse in clubs. Can you see what happened? They merely crossed the diamonds to then take the finesse in clubs. They led the jack. It's fine to lead a high card from 4 high cards, but they're unlucky on this occasion, and we won the king. Now, I do detect an element of uncertainty. I think it's partly because there's so few of you. So what happened then was that South led up to a diamond, but for the sole purpose of finessing in clubs. Okay, so they ran their jack, as we call it. And it's fine to lead a high card for a finesse if you've got enough high cards in your hand, say 4, but the finesse was unlucky. Now, here comes the key moment. Do you remember the lead? It was the 4 of spades, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That seemed to be our best hope, didn't it? Our longest sit was a clear lead. What card do you think West should play now?
Heart. Low heart.
Heart. First of all, let's examine the correct answer. Was that Caroline? I'm not sure. Why are you switching to a heart? I know we can see all of the hands,
Because
but even if you could, yes.
Sorry. Yeah, no, you'd like your partner to win it and then play a spade through South.
Because of that earlier queen, we knew that South must have the jack, didn't we? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Now, that's why Caroline has suggested we lead a heart. And I absolutely agree with that this is the crucial switch. And a lot of, the skill in defense is actually switching suits when you need to. And because of the fact our partner played the queen rather than the jack, meant we had to switch. Now, the part where I don't agree with you, Caroline, is your choice of the 3.
High for hate, so the 9.
Yes, we hate the hearts, don't we? And we don't want it being led back. So a nice, clear, don't like heart signal. And what's East going to do now? I think it was Caroline said it as well.
8 of spades.
Yes. With the doubleton, generally speaking, with the remaining doubleton, you lead the higher cards, sort of unblock. And can you see that's achieved the desired result? In spades, we wanted the lead to come from the other side to trap the jack. So our first sort of clever bit of play tonight. And we're going to defeat the contract clearly, aren't we? And I think that's 2 down, isn't it? Okay. Now, I'm a little bit aware of people's difficulties in defence, and please do say now if you're still not quite clear about that switch to the 9 of hearts. Would you like me to play it? Because it's a nice special occasion with so few of you. Is there anybody who can't see why we suddenly change track from spades to hearts? Don't be embarrassed. Okay. Happy with that? One person nods. All right. Well, don't forget these are all on the website. You just go back to the main page there. It's just under third hand play, and we just did number. What number was that? Was that 4? Oh no, it's 6, wasn't it? There we are. Yeah. Okay. Now moving on. So what do we think about this one? We've got another deal to play. Do interrupt, please, if you're not sure. So let's have a look at the auction. This is South as dealer, a really straightforward auction, this one. What do you think South would open?
1 no trump.
Absolutely. Classic 1 no trump. Nothing from West. How about North? So 1 no trump from South. What would you bid as North here? Long
3 no
diamonds,
trump?
haven't we? Yes.
3 diamonds?
Well, you know, I think I'd go for no trumps here. We've got 5, 8. We've only got 11 points, I know, but look at that lovely diamond suit. We don't like 5 diamonds, do we? Not if we can help it, not usually. And I think it's far better to try and go for 3 no trumps. Now, I know we've got just 11 points, but I think that lovely 6-card diamond suit means that I would go for 3 no trumps here. Very often, you know, in the bidding, if you've got a long minor, you've always got half an eye on no trumps. And looking at that North hand, what's the other feature of the hand that makes us inclined to no trumps and bid 3 no trumps, not 2? What's the useful feature apart from the diamonds?
The ace of spades.
Yeah, we've got an entry, you know, and we've all had this horrible experience having a lovely long solid suit like that in dummy and not being able to get to it. So I think that ace really seals the decision, and I think this is just a nice 1 no trump, 3 no trumps. It's not a textbook 1 no trump, 3 no trumps, but I think it's the best. It's the best bet, isn't it? Okay. South was declarer, so it's West opening lead. What do we think about that?
5 of clubs.
I agree with that. I can't see any reason to lead another suit. We've had no hints from the bidding. It's our longest suit. Of course, we can't see East's hand, don't forget. So we won't cheat with another lead. We'll make what would be our lead, the 5 of clubs, that's right. Now that's an interesting. You see, you could read so much into this first trick. Defense is so important. What does that 10 and the subsequent ace tell us about our partner's hand? Remember, we don't know. We're just trying to make it easy for you by seeing. How does that help West when the 10 is played? Can you see?
He hasn't got the queen.
Now, if we've got the jack, okay, he might have had the jack, but we've got it, because if he had 10 and jack, he would have played the 10. Now, if he had the queen east, he should have played it, shouldn't he?
Yeah.
The highest. So we can deduce so much from that simple 10. Now, can you see what the wily south is trying to do by playing that ace? They're trying to fool us into thinking he's not got the queen and the king as well. But they won't, because we can deduce, because we have to have the jack, it makes it easier actually, that he must have the king and the queen. So what do you think South's going to do now, having won that trick?
Play a diamond.
Now, remember, we've given up on clubs ourselves. Now, yes, of course, play a diamond. We win it per force, as it were. We couldn't help winning that trick, couldn't we? Now, are we in a good mood about clubs?
No.
No.
We're definitely not, thanks to that apparently insignificant 10 of clubs. So we've got to decide now which suit to switch to. It's another switch situation here. And what suit? I hope you're happy while we've given up on clubs. I mean, we like to persist with our long suit that we led, but this is another occasion to switch. So which suit would you switch to as West now?
A spade.
Remember, you can see dummy.
Spade.
A spade, I'm afraid, would be fatal.
Oh dear. It would, wouldn't it?
That'll put everybody off answering.
Well, hearts.
the ace of-
Yeah, I mean, I thought I made a mistake here because it looked, oh yes, let's knock out the entry, shall we? The ace of spades. Unfortunately, the king, queen, jack, and 10 and 5 of diamonds are now going to be good. And whilst it is usually a great idea to knock out the entry, because our ace of diamonds has taken the trick, so I'm afraid that spades will be no good. So we're left with, yes, yeah. When you've got a suit headed by the ace, well, the feature of that heart suit is it's only got one small card in it. I know it's a Trebleton, a 3-card suit. It's only got one small card in it. So which card would you actually play from hearts as West?
Ace.
You play the ace, that's right. You're basically unblocking the suit. I mean, you can't see the king, but when the general principle with when you've got high cards but just one small card is play from the top. So you're quite right, somebody said that, the ace. So another nice switch for us. We were lucky we had the ace, wasn't it? And we can make the lead the right way. Now what do we lead?
Just on that one, Chris, for East, would they not play the 8 to encourage you to continue?
Oh, yes. Now, in the past, I have taught about encouraging signals. Now, if we get on to the next bit tonight, we're not going to do too quickly. I am going to teach that. Now, I don't know what do you and Keith play as attitude signal, Caroline?
I'm not sure.
Oh, well, even you two haven't. Well, good. Now, you lead low for like.
Yes.
Yeah. I think for people, it's easier to remember we do the same with attitude, low for like. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, if we get time, I'm going to go into that in a bit more detail. And I think it's a particularly good system for beginners because you say low for light, whatever you're doing, whether you're leading or whether you're third hand.
Okay.
So the reason the 2 has been played there is because East likes the suit. They've got the king. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, what about Sheila or Pat? Do you use signals like this, attitude signals at all?
Yes. Low for light.
Not just for leading, but for attitude. Okay, well, I mean, you can play it either way. It doesn't make. I mean, the main thing is you if you're sitting down with a new partner, one of the things you should say is, what are your attitude signals? My system, by the way, is called reverse attitude, low for like. It's actually called reverse attitude because the conventional system, which I used to teach, is the other way around. So I'm very glad you asked that question. The 2 is signaling encouragement in my system.
Okay.
And if you don't like reverse attitude, it's entirely up to you, but so long as you and your partner are in accord.
Yes.
Now, Caroline, I have to say, I'm a little surprised that a pair such as you, who get such consistently good results, actually don't. Yeah. Does Keith ever mention about
I'm
attitude?
sure he does. I think I don't know. I'm sure Keith knows what he's doing. And
Okay.
we'll go over it next time I see him.
See what his attitude is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What card should we lead next as West, having won that ace, by the way?
Queen.
Yes, quite right. Remaining doubleton, lead the top of it. You're still unblocking, aren't you, when you've got 1 low card? You don't want the lead to be in the wrong hand. Okay, so on we go. We'll lead the queen, and it's easy to see because you can see the East hand that's a good idea, of course. Hope you don't think I've made things too easy for you tonight by showing you all 4 hands, by the way. But now the idea of unblocking is you play your last low card to the hand with a longer length. And it works like a dream, doesn't it? Now we can rather smugly cash the 8 of hearts. So a brilliant switch there by West. So how did you find that one? I seem to remember about 2 defense lessons ago, we had 1 or 2 people almost in tears because they found it so difficult to follow. But I can't remember if I said earlier, my last lesson was slam bidding, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I can look at my viewing figures on YouTube and guess which of all the 14 or so lessons got the biggest audience? You guessed it, slam bidding. Because people love bidding slams. But how often do slams come up compared to real bread and butter decisions like these hands here? They come up 4 or 5 times every session. And I'm always going on about you should know your defense, but really good players are always very good defenders. Of course, the only trouble with defense is that I know some of you don't always have the same partner, and that does make it more difficult. Anyway, I hope lots of people actually watch all this because it's so important. Can I go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, slightly different situation here because we've got a high card in dummy. You can see it, the king. Okay. Partners left the 3 and the 4 again from dummy. Which card should you play?
Queen.
Yes, I think if you couldn't see that one, you'd be drummed out of the bridge club, really, wouldn't you? But I always include this one just to include the basic principle that if you have got the picture, king, queen, or jack, that means, of course, you clearly, I mean, it's obvious this time, isn't it? But sometimes it's not quite so obvious. Okay. So this is the second little variety when partner leads a low card. So that's clearly the queen. It's just common sense. But how about this one? This time partner leads the 3. Always the 3, isn't it? And then the 4.
Jack.
Now, even if you don't understand the principle, the idea is that if you've got two high cards surrounding dummy's picture, in this case the king, then you play the second highest. Okay, and it's a form of finesse, of course. So we know that partner must have one high card. In fact, we know precisely what it is. Which high card has partner got?
Queen.
Queen.
Got to be the queen. Now, if we stick to this suggested system of leads, partner has got some high card points in the suit. And the only card high, because we can see dummy, of course, we know that partner has the queen. So we play the jack. And of course, the advantage of that is that we win the trick because our partner had the queen. And having won the jack of diamonds, what's our next card to lead?
Ace.
Ace. It's the same principle again. After winning the jack on this occasion, we've got a doubleton, the ace and the 2. So we would lead the ace back to unblock the suit. Then we lead the 2, and because it's a 3-no trump contract, we've managed to gain 4 tricks. Okay, so the idea then is dummy's picture surrounded by your cards? Can you see that one? Okay. Three lead, 4 from dummy. So what would we play? 4 from dummy.
Ace.
Well,
No, hang on. No, 3.
I think
Mm,
that the 10 is
okay.
high enough.
Yeah.
I think you could almost say that any card up to the 9 is worth a try. So if you're not quite sure what I mean by surrounded, I mean by high cards, possibly as low as the 9. Now, it's not necessarily easy to see. You do actually play the 10, and what we're hoping for, can you see the ace and the 10 are surrounding the queen?
Yeah.
When I say surrounding, I know there's a gap where the king and the jack should be, but that's near enough. Because if the layout is as hoped, we're going to win the 10 here, because on this occasion, our partner has the king and the jack. And to be honest, if he hadn't, it wouldn't make any difference anyway. So we try the 10, which is great. It's perfectly okay for our partner, by the way, to have led from king, jack, 8, 3. That's the correct lead, wasn't it? There's no sequence at the top there at all. And then after winning the 10, we then play the ace and lead back the 2. And again, we're going to sweep the board there. Okay. And the queen ends up being falling. It'll fall, won't it, on the king on the 3rd round.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it's hard to quite picture these situations, but you've got this sort of general rule. When you've got the picture, this is the queen, it's surrounded, shall we say, as a sort of general guide, as far as down to the 9 in the suit. That's the usual sort of guidance. Try that second highest card. Okay. Right, we're in spades this time, as usual. 3 lead, 4 from dummy.
10.
Yes. Well done. It combines both principles, doesn't it? We've got Mr. King surrounded, and when we've got touching honours, we play the lowest. So well done on both counts. The 10, a very confident sounding 10 there. And of course, when we play, we then end up trapping the king there, don't we? Okay. Notice, by the way, in that situation, that it's not us who then plays the suit. Can you see that? Because we would give the king a trick. So having rather being rather pleased that we win the 10, why do we not play the suit again? What do
Because
we want?
you want your partner to play it.
Precisely. And this happens so much in defence. Before ploughing on with a very nice winning 10 of spades, think, do I actually want to lead this? Now you can see this king in dummy. You want it to be trapped. So you lead back some other suit, and we can't see the whole of dummy, but generally speaking, it's often a good idea to lead up to dummy's weak suit, giving the partner a partner our lead, and then they can play through that king, meaning it gets trapped. Can you see why we switch? Now, I can't tell you which suit to switch to. If we can see the whole of dummy, there might be one of those nice little 3-card suits with not much in it. That's the one to try, because we want partners to get the lead back and then lead through that king. You remember, you're always trying to lead through those single high cards to completely nullify them. Okay, last of this section. Now, another little auction here. So what's South bidding? South is, again, the opening bidder.
1 spade.
It's a clear 1 spade. Nothing from West, definitely. And what would you bid as North? We've got 1 spade from South.
2 clubs.
2 clubs, indeed. It's strong enough, isn't it? Does it pass the rule of 14? 3, 5, 7, 9. Easily. So we bid 2 clubs. By the way, some people seem to be under the misapprehension that you have to have a 5-card suit to bid at the 2 level. You don't. In the old days, some awful people might have bid something like 3 no trumps with that straight away. It's a horrible bid. Try and bid a suit to a suit. So we've got 1 spade from South. We've got 2 clubs from North. What's the next bid from South?
2 spades.
Yes, it's nothing better than that, is it? Now, that actually guarantees 6 spades, because after 1, well, I'll do the whole auction now. And after 2 spades, North is going to go up to
4.
4, quite definitely. There we are. Because North now knows that South, actually, if you think about it, he knows that South's got 6 spades. Because this auction, diamonds and hearts have been completely missed out. And in that situation, the repeat of opener's suit guarantees 6. So even if we'd only had 2 spades at North, we'd still be bidding 4 spades. So the black suits have been bid, and West is about to lead. And what should West lead? The contract is 4 spades. Not such an obvious opening lead this time. Well, can you narrow it down to 2 suits?
Hearts and clubs.
Yes. So you said clubs? No, wouldn't. I mean, when it's not usually a good idea. I mean, sometimes you have to.
Oh no, that's right.
Yeah.
I
know we can't see North yet, but we do know
that.
Yes. Which would you prefer? I mean, this is a suit contract, of course, not no trumps. Which would you prefer of the hearts or the diamonds? Try and ignore East for now. Now, if this was no trumps, I would leave the 3 of hearts because it's the longest suit. And even in a suit contract, I still think I'd leave the 3 of hearts. Now, I really hate leading aces by themselves, unsupported aces, unless our partners bid it. So I think I would choose the 3 of hearts, even if, even though it's a suit contract. Leading suits headed by the ace is right down at the bottom of the list because it so often gives a trick away. What you want with the ace is the king. You want to leave the ace with the king. So I think I would go for the 3 of hearts. And when West leads the 3 of hearts, what do you think East should do? Oh, I've pressed the button. Now you know. Sorry. And why do you think East played the 9 there?
To show that
Well, it was similar to the previous example, wasn't it? The picture was surrounded, and we played the lowest of touching honours. When I say touching honours, by the way, I mean touching high cards, really. So that's why we played the 9. Now, obviously, at this point, I think, what do you think Declarer ought to be doing now they've won that trick? The contract is 4 spades.
get the spades out.
Yep. And that will be quite easy. It's going to take just 2 rounds, isn't it? Draw trumps. There's no reason not to in this hand. So that's 2 left. And for Declarer, it's looking good because they break nicely to 2. Now, what do you think that West should now lead back? I beg your pardon. It's South's turn, isn't it? Yes. Sorry, rephrase the question. I'm ahead of myself. South's just won that trick. What do you think they will try to do now?
Get out the ace of diamonds. No, no, sorry.
That's a top priority.
Or ace of club.
I think that's what you meant, wasn't it? Force winners, as we call them. Nice sequence. I think they want to drive out of the ace of clubs. That's right. So now East has won back the lead, having to finish this section. We have to decide what East should now lead. It's easy looking at all the hands, but you've got to justify it. So South has just tried to set up promote club winners, but East has won the ace of clubs. Do you remember the original lead, the 3 of hearts?
Yes.
Well, good. You know, when I've got a horrible thought, you know, were you all here when we had that interruption at the beginning and I had to
I think just I was.
I've just got a horrible feeling. I'm wondering if I've shut about 12 people off the meeting. I will find out. It seems strange. It's like the Marie Celeste tonight, isn't it? I mean, I'm in very select company, of course. It goes without saying. Anyway, what do you think he should now lead back? Well, the thing about, you know, we're talking about the picture surrounded, that Queen of Hearts was surrounded. That's because we've got it trapped. But we've only got it trapped if the lead comes from West. Precisely. Now, East, looking at Dummy's hand, what do you think is the best suit for East to lead back? Looking just at Dummy, is diamonds. Yes, I know we can see the ace. And which card should you lead in diamonds?
High for hate.
Very high for hate, absolutely. So let's make it really clear we're not interested in diamonds. They're not our best friend. On we go, 9 of diamonds. There we are. And look, the lead's in the right position. The Queen's well and truly trapped, and down goes the contract by some very clever defense. Okay, and we've left our king to take the Queen. Now that's the end of that third hand section. Obviously, it can be played again and practiced and so on. How difficult did you find that on a scale of 10?
Well, I think I've learnt some things, so thank you.
I'm only just going to make a start on the next bit, attitude, because I think we will have too much to. Let's just introduce this, shall we? Attitude signals, right. I don't think we'll do any more complete deals. The ace is led by our partner. Now we're going to use reverse attitudes. I hope we've agreed on that.
Yes.
So what card should we play?
3.
Excellent. Sounding more confident now. Low means like. We got the queen. Great. Excellent. Good start. Okay. The king is led. 4 from dummy. What are we going to play?
8.
Sorry.
No, sorry, 3. So
Oops.
I'm getting my attitude muddled up.
I
3.
thought something funny across
Yes.
the airwaves there. Yeah, it would be
3.
3, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
By the way, which card would you play if you had only the ace and the 3?
Ace.
Yes, to unblock the suit. That's one song. I know it seems silly beating partner, but when you've only got the ace and the 3, you want to unblock the suit and be able to lead back, because our partner's promised the queen and maybe the jack as well, who knows. But here it's the ace 8 and the 3, so we play the 3. Why? Because we've got the ace and we want partner to lead back the suit. So again, low equals like. Good. Okay, ace led, please. So what would you play?
The 10 or the 8?
Well,
You don't like it.
you don't really. Now, partner should have the king. Do you agree?
Yes.
Unless he's had some hideous choice of lead, like 4 aces on their own. And what you have to think is, can you make up a sequence? Yeah. Well, if partner's got the ace and the king, we've only got the jack. So I think I would play the 8. Okay. So you encourage if it forms a sequence. Now, we played the 8 because what we would really like is not for partner to keep leading the suit, but us to lead the suit. See, although the jack and the 10 were encouraging to us, we didn't really want to encourage partner to lead the suit, because you can see what we'd really like to do at some point later is then lead the jack through to trap declarer's queen. Well, I don't know. I'm going to stop there tonight because there's something of a mystery about this evening. I don't know if there's a mass outbreak of plague or whatever. So we'll stop share. Still this horrible feeling. There we are.
But they would have tried to come in again, wouldn't they, if they'd got cut off?
I don't ever remember an occasion when
Have
we've
you
had
stopped recording?
stop recording. I should stop recording now. Hold on a minute. Where is it?
Nick,
Oh,
Bill
I've got-
and David have got all their family.
Have they got the whole bridge club at their house or something?
No, it's their golden wedding.